Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Her podcast. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. I just had to jump away and pause the recording because I started recording and then I realized that I look like a shiny glazed donut, and I've been trying out some new skincare, but it's given me the glow is great, but probably a bit too glow for the camera. So if you don't know, when you're listening to this audio, I'm actually also recording the podcast on a video as well. And that goes on YouTube. And that's also like the little shorts and the snippets of the podcast clips that I share on my Instagram and also on my social media. So I had to go and powder up the face because yay for glowing skin, but I just looked like a shiny. Let me know if you go back and watch the video afterwards, how my skin's looking. Because like I said, I'm trying out some new skincare and just we're so busy and I'm just trying to make a bit more effort and time into looking after my skin and taking better care of my skin. So that's one of my goals and things that I'm focusing on at the moment. All right, let's jump into today's podcast episode. Today's episode is all about balanced eating for weight loss, how you're going to avoid extreme diets and find moderation. Because here's the truth. We all talk about that word, moderation. Another good one that gets thrown around a lot is balance. I just want to find moderation with my healthy eating and exercise. I just want to find balance with my healthy eating and my exercise. And it's thrown around a lot. But we don't actually really know how to find that sweet spot. The sweet spot where you feel confident, in control of what you're eating, where you're not scared to eat out or eat too much chocolate or overeat at Christmas. You'll have a glass of wine, you'll indulge with some girlfriends, you'll have some chocolate, and you don't feel guilty. You don't think you've had a blowout. No one actually ever talks about how do you find that sweet spot? How do you actually find balance? How do you actually find moderation? And what does it look like? As we know here on the Healthy Her podcast, knowledge is power. So it's really important that we actually look at what moderation is, the literal definition of moderation. And I found this to be really, really interesting was this: avoiding extremes or excessive behavior or consumption. How bang on is that when it comes to eating healthy and exercise? So avoiding extremes, so that's overeating, over-exercising, under-eating, skipping meals, cutting carbs, or excessive behavior or consumption, following every single day on a plate or watching every diet video, or excessive behavior where you're on a juice cleanse or all these kind of things. So I feel like the actual definition of moderation relates perfectly for us gals in that healthy eating and weight wellness space that we're working on bettering ourselves and becoming the healthiest, happiest versions of ourselves. I think the definition is absolutely perfect. So the focus is on balance, self-control and restraint. But how do you actually find that? Okay. It seems like this, it just seems like this magical place, the balance place where the unicorns are dancing in the fields, but it's not that at all. It's not this magic place, and you can actually find it. And I can honestly say I'm there now. I'm in the magic field with the unicorns, and I have found balance. I have a healthy lifestyle. I look after myself, but I also eat chocolate. I also enjoy a glass of wine. I also overeat. I also have late nights out. I have definitely found balance and moderation. And you can find balance and moderation with food, even after you've had multiple failed attempts or many years of small, limited wins or success. Because like I said, I know it feels like this magic field where the unicorns are dancing around and there's butterflies and rainbows and clouds to find this perfect balance and moderation. But it's not. And you can actually get there. So even if you're listening to this and go, I've tried all the diets, Jen, and I've been dieting on and off for 5 or 10 years and I've only had a little bit of success and nothing works, and you can still find balance and moderation. It is something that is accessible for literally all of you. So how do you actually move from extreme dieting, the cutting carbs, the restricting foods, the not eating bread, the no sugar? So how do you actually move from extreme dieting, restricting foods, skipping meals, to eating all foods in moderation and having balance in your life? So where you work out, you eat your vegetables, but you also devour a burger and have some hot chips. Like, you can actually have both. But how do we actually move you from that place of extreme and that excessive consumption that we were talking about in that definition to finding that balance? So balance is defined by a situation in which different elements are in correct proportions. Again, how bang on is that? A situation in which different elements are in correct proportions. Do these definitions not explain this stuff so well? It is so true. That's exactly what balance is like. Things around your lifestyle are in correct proportions. So that's how much you exercise, how much healthy food you eat compared to how much junk food you eat, how much water you drink. It's no extremes. It's just in correct and appropriate proportions. So correct proportions mean that you have a balanced approach to eating and exercise. So it's without the extremes. And remember, the extremes are things like the skipping meals, the cutting carbs, the no sugar, the juice cleanse diet, the 5-day detox diet. All of those things are extremes, and they are not moderation. They are not balance, and they are definitely not in correct proportion. So we need to try and move you from that focus on those extremes to finding that moderation and that balance where there's correct proportions, where you are avoiding excessive behavior or consumption and avoiding those extremes. So when I was reflecting back on my own journey and my own weight loss and healthy lifestyle and thinking about the top things that I could share with you today, I've narrowed it down to about 7. I think I've got 7. I might have 8, but I've narrowed it down to 7 key ones that can really, really help you. So these are my top tools, my top tips. So by the end of this episode, you will know exactly how I found balance around food and exercise. And these tips are simple things that you can start using too. By the end of the episode, you should have a toolkit with at least 7 things that you can start to do to move you away from that extreme dieting over into finding more balance and actually starting to enjoy your healthy lifestyle. And that's the problem too, because when we get in that side where everything's extremes, you don't enjoy it. It's not enjoyable. It is freaking stressful. It is pressurized. It is like, oh, this has got to work and I need to do it now and I've got to do it in this short timeline, and you're hungry all the time. It's not a good place to be. Whereas when you move over to balance and moderation and find that with a healthy lifestyle, it's where the flow comes. It starts to feel easy. It's not stressful. You're not pressured to do it a certain way and to feel a certain way and to have it done by a certain time. It starts to come from a better place and you start to just sit back and relax into it a lot more. Now, I used to be the girl. I was either the perfect girl. So perfect girl, perfect day of eating, perfect exercise, restrict my food, skip meals, eat the smallest amount possible. I would either be that girl or I'd be the I've just eaten half a cake in my kitchen. Like, I couldn't find that balance in the middle. It was perfect. I did it all perfectly. Or I went the other road and I just did nothing and I would just overeat on all of the wrong foods. I just couldn't find that sweet spot in between. So that's really what we're focusing on today. We want to help you find that sweet spot in between, because there's nothing worse being stuck. Like I said, it's not a great place to be on the extreme side, because everything feels heightened, everything feels stressful, it feels pressurized, it just feels hard. Whereas balance and moderation starts to feel ease and it starts to feel like it's actually going to flow. So let's jump into my top 7 ways of how you are going to start finding moderation and balance. And also too, while we're going through these together, just think about those definitions that I gave you in the beginning about what balance is and also what moderation is, because that's what we're striving for. Those 2 things are what we are striving for. And like I said, I think those definitions are just perfect. absolutely perfect when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to eating healthy, and when it comes to exercise. So as we go through these, definitely keep those in the back of your mind. Number one, big one. And I'm probably going to say this about all of these, but this is a big one. Stop chasing perfect days. They don't exist. And I can tell you that they certainly don't exist for today's busy modern woman. Okay. Chasing a perfect day is the number one way to lose balance in aiming for perfection. Your balance, your moderation, it's gone. It's out the window the second that you're aiming for a perfect day. Because when you do anything less, you feel like a failure. So you're like, okay, today I'm going to get up and go to the gym. I'm going to have a high protein breakfast. And then I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And you get up and your kid's sick and you can't go to the gym and you end up having a cold piece of toast. And then you're like, oh, because I couldn't do my perfect plan that I had in mind, anything less than what you had in mind, you feel like you failed. And it is so far from the truth. It is not a failure at all. You've probably done 5 other awesome, amazing things towards your health and your goals and your wellness. Because it didn't be the perfect day that you had planned or the perfect thing, you think that you're a failure, or you think that, oh, I just wasn't good enough, so that doesn't count. Like I wanted to go to Pilates, but I couldn't go to Pilates because I had to stay late at work or whatever, and I just had to go for a walk around the block, so I've somehow failed. This is where you have to stop chasing that perfect day, because perfect doesn't exist. And like I said, when you don't do perfect, you think you failed. And if you actually took a step back and looked at the reality, you would realize that you didn't actually fail at all. You did plan B, plan C, you did something else instead. And that's not what you wanted to do. But I tell you what, it's just as good. It's just as good as whatever you were planning to do, because you did something, and that is what matters. So instead of focusing on perfect, start to aim for good enough. That was good enough. I couldn't get to my Pilates class. I couldn't get to the gym. You know what? But I did a walk or I did a YouTube workout at home. That is good enough. Good enough. There's a difference between good enough and doing nothing at all. So something is always better than nothing. And it is a mindset shift that you have to make as a woman, because like I said, we have been drilled into us that it has to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. And like I said, every time you don't do perfect, your brain goes, well, that wasn't a great day and that wasn't the perfect workout and I didn't have the perfect day of eating, so I've somehow failed. When in reality, like I said, you've probably gone to the gym, you've probably drunk your water, you may have not had your high protein breakfast, but you would have done things either way in that day. But it's just that you've been so taught to focus on the perfectionist of the day that you're missing all of the other wins in your day that you are having. Number 2, restriction fuels extremes. And this is the truth. And I know it because I've lived it. I've personal experience around this. When you restrict your food, it fuels extremes, okay? So you need to work on your meal balance, all right? So if you're still skipping meals, or just have a salad for lunch, and if that's the era that you're in, you're going to find balance hard. Okay. And you will overeat later. I can 99.999% guarantee that you will overeat later. So you need to avoid these extremes, right? You don't want to skip meals. You don't want to cut out food groups. You need to find balance. So thinking protein, carbohydrates, and fat in your main meals will reduce your cravings and you won't need willpower. It's probably one of the top things that I will share with women when they are struggling with food is I will tell them to eat. They'll say, but Jen, what's the one thing I can do? And eat some food. Women restrict and it fuels their extremes. So what is a really common pattern for us gals, me included, is we will wake up and we spend the day trying to consume less calories. So we're trying to eat less. So we skip breakfast. We might have a small lunch, like I said, a salad, maybe a tub of yogurt middle of the afternoon. And then come evening time, what happens? Because you've restricted and tried those extremes during the day, nighttime comes and you are freaking starving and you are going to eat everything in sight. And you're thinking, oh, I'm so weak and I've got no willpower and I need motivation. It's just because you're hungry. It is just because you are hungry. Majority of women overeat at night because they're just generally hungry. And it's because they've skipped all these calories that their body actually needed during the day. And come nighttime, your body will make up for it. So Restriction fuels extremes. Okay, so remember that. If you're restricting something, if you're skipping something, if you're cutting out something, if you're not having something, it is going to create an extreme. It is not going to create a balance for you. Number 3, and this is definitely a favorite. This is one I talk about a lot, and I will talk about a lot on the podcast and on my socials because it's something that I truly, truly believe. We have to disarm food. We have to disarm off-limit food and just see them as normal. So we have to stop labeling foods, okay? Disarming them means that what we do as women is we give food labels, okay? We give it power over us. Things like it might be the chocolate, okay? You are giving that chocolate a label. This chocolate will make me fat. This chocolate will make my pants feel tighter. This chocolate will make me feel gross. This chocolate will mean that I have to work out for an extra hour tomorrow at the gym. What you have to understand is that food doesn't have feelings. It is us as women that associates a feeling to a food. Simple. That is it. Like, it's the truth. It's us. Like that chocolate, it's just chocolate. It's literally a couple of squares of chocolate. It's not going to do anything to you. And this is why we really have to start disarming those off-limit foods. The burger, the chips, the cheese, the wine, pizza, like whatever your thing is, you need to start learning to disarm those foods and just see them as normal. It's just a burger. It's just some chocolate. It's just a bag of lollies. It's just a tub of ice cream. Like, it's not going to do anything to you, all right? And it will really help you to start to find that balance and moderation, because you will be able to start to eat a piece of cake and have it guilt-free, because you're like, it's just a bit of cake, and I just felt like a bit of cake, and I'm going to eat the bit of cake and I'm going to enjoy it. You start to take your power back when you start to disarm these foods and, realizing that it's been you this whole time that's actually giving those foods a feeling. So take your power back and disarm those foods. And like I said, those things are normal. Eating a burger is normal. Having some chocolate on the couch at nighttime is normal. Eating some ice cream after dinner is normal. Like, all of those things are normal behaviors that we all like to indulge in. And you can do those things, but you just have to take away the feelings that you've associated with those food, because that's what's keeping you stuck in those extremes. Number 4, definitely a favorite, ditch the I'll start again Monday. I want you to switch your mindset on this one. And it links back to number 1 where I'm talking about ditching the perfect day. Ditch the I'll start again Monday, all right? Because what happens is it keeps you stuck in a loop. So you aim for perfect. So you try and have the perfect day, or you might have a perfect day. You might even get to Wednesday or something, and you've eaten, you've done your exercise, you've had 3 perfect days of healthy eating and exercise. And then Wednesday afternoon comes around and something happens and everything goes to crap, and you just do what you wanted to do that day. Why do you have to then go, okay, well, I'll just quit now and I'll just start again in a week's time? You don't need to do that. You just need to go, oh, okay, I'm just going to pick up and continue and go again. That's all you have to do. That's it. There's no, I'll wait for the perfect time and I'll start. I don't know which freaking genius decided that dieting should start on a Monday. You can start looking after yourself anytime you like, any time of the year, any day of the week, any day of the weekend, any holiday, Easter, Christmas, public holiday, whenever you want is a good time to start eating better, exercising more, and taking care of yourself. You don't have to wait until Monday. And like I said, it's the waiting keeps you stuck, and it keeps you stuck in that extreme cycle.
I've lost 17.3 kilos as a busy full-time working mum in perimenopause. And for years before that, I felt like a failure. I had tried every diet. I'd start strong, fall off, start again, and the weight always came back. I honestly believed there was something wrong with me. Then I found Jen and the Healthy Eating Hype Girl membership. For the first time, healthy eating felt realistic. I never felt like I was on a diet. I'm still a Hype Girl now. There's no pressure to be perfect, no restrictions, just simple steps I can stick to. And that's when everything really changed for me. This isn't just about following a challenge or fixing one problem. The membership teaches you how food, habits and overeating actually works, so you're set up for life, not another restart. I've let go of yo-yo dieting. I feel amazing in my new body, and I'm finally loving buying new clothes again. The coaching calls and masterclasses gave me the knowledge and support I'd been missing and helped me stop quitting on myself. My name's Kel, and if you're struggling, I promise it's not you. You just haven't been taught weight loss the right way. This membership has truly been life-changing for busy women like me. You need to join right now.
Number 5, exercise for energy, not exhaustion. There's a bit of a misconception. I'd say it's been around for a lot of years that if you exercise and you go and work out or you go to the gym, that if somehow you don't leave the gym in a hot, sweaty mess, like you're literally dying, that somehow you haven't had a good workout. And I'm not going to lie, I used to be that girl first. And for me, I would say it was, especially when I started weight training, because often, yes, you do get your heart rate up and yes, you get sweaty, but often it's not that kind of dripping sweat. It's just not the same. And especially in the cooler months, you just don't sweat as much as what you normally do. And I remember when I first started weight training and I was thinking, walking out of the gym and I'm like, okay, my clothes are dry and I'm not really sweaty. And was that a good workout? And again, I don't know which freaking genius decided that you've only had a good workout if you're a hot, sweaty mess afterwards. It's not the case. So I want you to start focusing on exercising because it gives you energy. It's because it gives you vibrance. It's because it gives you a good night's sleep. It gives you glowing skin. It pumps the blood around your body. It gives you stronger muscles. So start focusing on exercising for energy and not exhaustion. So not being, I've got to go to the gym and I've got to just smash myself, because it means if I've smashed myself, I've worked off all these calories and I've burned all this stuff and I'm going to lose weight faster. None of that stuff is true. Okay. So focus on balance. So we don't want 7 days of workouts. How about 3 or 4 workouts a week? All right. Not 7 or 10. Okay. Not twice a day. Focus on walking and getting that movement in every day. You should feel energized after exercise, not exhausted. And like I said, I don't know which genius decided that it's a sign of a good workout if you're a hot, sweaty mess, because I can tell you from someone who's been exercising now for a while, it is not the case. And for me too, it's a bit of a head game. Like you've got to go, oh, okay, yeah, I did some weight training today and I did work hard but I'm not this hot, sweaty mess. And it's this mindset of thinking, okay, you know what? I still did a workout just because I didn't kill myself at that workout. I still did a workout and I still have made some progress towards my goals. Number 6, and this one has definitely helped me a lot on my own journey, and it is to expect imperfect. So don't expect perfect. Don't expect it. Don't be like, every day is going to be perfect and I'm going to eat perfectly and I'm going to exercise, because you're not. I can hands down tell you, perfection does not exist. It's not a thing and no one does it. Even successful people in the wellness industry do not eat perfectly all the time because it's not achievable and it's not maintainable. So expect imperfect. Just expect it. Okay, balance isn't eating perfect, never overeating. All right? Balance is getting back on track after you've had a food blowout or a bad meal, or you've had 3 or 4 really unhealthy meals. It's getting back on track after that. That's what balance is. Remember back to those definitions. It's avoiding those extremes. We want to avoid the extremes and find harmony and find balance with those things. So if you just expect, and it doesn't mean you wake up and you go, oh my gosh, my day's going to go to crap and everything's going to be bad and I'm not going to get my workout in and I'm not going to be able to eat healthy. That's not what I mean. I mean that you just wake up and you just expect that imperfect things are going to happen to you in your day and that you are equipped to handle them, because you plan to do a walk with your girlfriend. She gets sick and can't come. So what do? You can still go for a walk. You can do something at home. You can go to the gym. You can do a YouTube workout. You can walk the dog. All those things are not your perfect plan. And they may be the imperfect plan for you, but they're still doing something. And that's really what you need to focus on. Okay, my last tip. So I was correct. I do have 7 tips for you today. And I know I've talked about the first one as being a big one, but I really feel like for me, this is the big one. Number 7, educate yourself about food. Knowledge is power and we fear what we don't know. You can't find balance with your healthy lifestyle because you don't understand what you're doing. You don't understand and you don't know how much food you eat, where your calories are coming from. You don't know how to build a healthy meal that's balanced, that's got all the right things in it to keep you feeling full. And when you know these things, you feel confident, okay? You start to feel good. You feel empowered and in control because you know what you're doing. and you understand that if you have a burger or if you have something that's not part of the plan, it's not going to undo all of your hard work. And this is exactly how you get to eat guilt-free, when you know, when you learn. And this is the thing. Majority of us women do not know what we eat. I'm still yet to have a woman come into the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership to work with me, to join our community so I can help them to lose weight and to eat healthy without extremes, that says, oh, Jen, yeah, I know exactly what I eat. We all think we do, okay, and I'm inserting my little finger comments here. We all think we know what we eat. We don't know what we eat. And when you start to learn about food and what you eat and where your calories are coming from and what's missing from your diet, when you educate yourself about that stuff, everything starts to shift. Because instead of just guessing and hoping and wishing and trying these different things and crossing your fingers and hoping that they will work, when you can see this information in front of you, and that's why the second that you join the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership, I will teach you how to do a 7-day diet audit. So we will look at your diet and go, right, okay. And there's no mistaking it. You can't say, oh, but I don't eat that and I only eat. It's right there in front of you. This information and this knowledge about food is literally priceless because that's what you need. And this is this problem. It's not sexy. You know, saying to women, let's learn about food and let's learn about how much we eat and where our calories are coming from. It's not sexy. If I said to you, join my 6-week challenge, we're going to shred fat fast, you'd be like, I'm in, Jen, let's go. But because we're doing things differently here and we're saying, hey, you know what? Number 7, we want to find that balance. We need to educate ourselves around the food that we are eating. And that's the problem that so many of us have. We just don't know. Okay. I was the same. I was like, oh, no, I don't eat that. And I eat this. And whoa, when it's in front of you, it's very hard to go, oh, okay. And the funny thing is I always find is that like when we do the diet audits, women are always quite shocked because it's always quite opposite usually to what they think that they're actually eating. But they're also quite shocked too is how such small tweaks are needed to be made in order to get them on the right path. Often as women, we think that in order to find balance and to be successful with healthy eating and weight loss, that we need these extremes and that it has to be, I can't eat that and I can't eat this and I have to eat that. And no, you don't. And often, like I said, we look at these diet audits and say, you know what, we just need to do that. We'll tweak that. We'll add that bit in and you're good to go. And they're like, wow, we way overcomplicate this stuff and make it so much harder for ourselves than it needs to be. But number 7, educate yourself about your food. Know what you eat. Know where your calories coming from. It is power. Knowledge is power. Because I can tell you what is not power. Guessing, Googling, trying random things, crossing your fingers and just hoping for the best, or signing up for something and a challenge or a program and just doing it and then not know why you're doing it or what you're doing it for and just following it blindly. It's education. It's the knowledge is your missing piece. So I hope that you've got lots of gold and lots of gems out of those 7 things on how you can start finding balance. And they do take a bit of practice. Just keep in mind that all of the things that you know about food and exercise, you have built this up inside of you for years. It's not just going to disappear overnight. But if you start changing your mindset, if you start changing your language, if you start changing the way that you think about things, then you will start to shift into moderation and you will find that balance. So stop chasing extremes. Focus on filling meals, realistic routines, getting back on track quickly. They're the things that work. Women who get results aren't the ones doing the most. They're just learning and improving as they go. And that's something that I will always suggest. Don't wait for perfect. Start messy, start imperfect and improve as you go. And that's exactly what our Hype Gal members are doing inside the membership. No one in there is doing anything perfectly because we don't do perfect in there. We are just starting messy, learning, improving, and mastering those skills as we go until we feel confident to do them on our own. Thank you so much for joining me in today's podcast episode. You can also jump in and join the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership. If you're sick of dieting and you've just had enough and you just want to start to achieve success and start to feel confident and empowered and know exactly what you're doing and why you're eating the way you do so you can get lasting results, then head over to my website and join us because I would love to have you part of our incredible, vibrant community. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode, and I'll see you all in our next one. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @TheActiveBod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.